A very good evening and welcome. This is Newsfirst Weekend Primetime News on NTV. I'm Ramesh Irugal Bandara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Extortion and other malpractices at the Katunayaka International Airport. Previous government criticizes the new government's 100-day plan. Prime Minister elaborates on the 100-day plan. Decision to reduce bus fares to be made on Tuesday.
On to our top story tonight. The airport of a country is not only a gateway for a new experience but also reflects the image of the host nation. According to Minister of Aviation Services Faisal Mustafa, it is important to prevent the malpractices of fraud and corruption that takes place within the airport. Newsfirst was provided with footage that shows extortion that takes place at the Bandaranaike International Airport and also the harassing of passengers.
This is the final gate for boarding for passengers at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayaka. After being checked and cleared for travel, passengers enter the boarding area through this gate. If officers at this area feel any suspicion of any passenger, the passenger is escorted to a room within the premises and is inspected. Inspection takes place with the passenger in question being requested to strip down. According to airport security, for such an inspection, it takes a minimum of 10 minutes. Yet, some passengers are escorted to this room for inspection, sometimes for absurd reasons, and are released within seconds. This situation has led to suspicions of alleged money extortion taking place inside this inspection room. Here is footage that shows security personnel extorting money from passengers. The footage also shows a group of security officers dressed in civil attire extorting money from a passenger. Another phase of extortion takes place at the exit gate of the airport. This time, it's the dealers at the airport who are taking part in this malpractice. The footage shows how money is being extorted from transport providers who arrange vehicles for migrant workers who return to Sri Lanka from the Middle East. These persons are only allowed to meet with the returning migrant workers after the due money is given to the security officers. These hard-working Sri Lankans generate almost 823.5 billion Sri Lankan rupees per annum and are undoubtedly worthy of walking down the red carpet. However, after shedding blood, sweat and tears in a foreign land to earn an income, when they reach the BIA, they fall victim to these security officers who prey on them like predators. Is it not tragic for the hard-earned money to simply be handed over to these unknown predators? Airport security is only allowed to have 300 rupees in their possession while in the airport. Although it looks simple enough, the monitors of these cameras work with a hawk eye to capture these malpractices on camera. The authorities seem to be uninterested in stopping these malpractices. Sexual harassment also takes place within the airport. Details tomorrow.
He asked to come in or you asked to come in?
No! A meeting of UPFA supporters took place in Maharagama yesterday.
In another 2 days, it will be 20 days for their program. What did this government do? You have a right to look back and ask them that. Ministers are swearing in on a daily basis. Yet, they said that this will not happen. The numbers have risen far more than what they promised. We wish to state that we will correct the flaws that happened in the UPFA by the wrongdoers, the corrupt persons, and let those weeds die away and allow the campaign of the UPFA move ahead even more stronger. They said that the price of petrol will be reduced by 50 rupees. What happened to it? 50 became just 5. They might be thinking that we are fools who can be deceived. Relief is being provided within these 100 days. Next is elections. It's not that we don't see the relativity between these two. Just like the UNP took over power very systematically, they will regain power and create something called a national government, so that we will be eternally tied to their carriage.
Shortly after this news item was aired on the main news bulletin at 7 p.m. on our sister channel Sister TV, JVP Politburo member KD Lanka expressed the following views.
I saw the statement made by Dinesh Gunawardena on Citizen News. After seeing that, I am surprised about the fact that Dinesh Gunawardana's mouth has suddenly begun to open. Honestly speaking, although he served as a prominent figure under the government of Mahinda Rajapaksa, we never really quite heard him speak out. He is a person who raised his hand in support of the 18th Amendment to the Constitution and everything that violates the principles of democracy. He also raised his hand for the impeachment of Shirani Bandaranaike. He even agreed to the illegal election. He admired Mahinda Rajapaksa so much, he never saw a single fault in him. So I am rather surprised that he has suddenly begun to speak. So I think it is best if Dinesh Gunawardena continues to keep his mouth shut like he used to before, because there is a public mandate here, and I am sure that things will be sorted out with that public mandate. The public has voted for the swan, and there are people who have faith in the 100-day program. There is also a public mandate that defeated the family rule with the objective of defeating the executive presidency, along with all those like Dinesh Gunawardena. So that public mandate which cast their vote for all of this will sort this matter out. The issue of the cabinet shuffle and new cabinet ministers being appointed will be sorted out within these 100 days. It is not a problem. There is a parliamentary election coming up ahead as well. Then Dinesh Gunawardena can watch with his mouth open. After that, he can go in for a good discussion about what happened within the 100 days and so on. So I think it is best if Dinesh Gunawardena keeps his mouth shut.
Speaking to reporters yesterday, the Frontline Socialist Party charged that the 100-day program of the Maithripala government is moving at a slow pace.
The first two phases of the 100-day program took place. However, many other things after that have not taken place. An interim budget is scheduled to be presented on the 29th of January. As we have been informed at the party leaders' meeting after Parliament convened, the ruling party had announced that an interim budget won't be presented, but a special statement will be made in Parliament by the Minister of Finance. Then opposition leader Nimal Siripal de Silva had made a request for a debate if such a statement is to be made. As a country and society, what we aspire is change. If that change does not take place, there needs to be a social discussion on this matter.
Staying in local news, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in a discussion with a group of people today on the relief that will be given to the people and the relief that is being asked by the people within the 100-day program.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe toured the Deniai area this morning. The people who surrounded the Prime Minister directly put forward their issues to him.
Come the 29th, Minister Ravi Karunaka will announce reduction in the prices of essential items. You will get a concession through that. What we want is to give money to the village. Think about it. They earn from the money which was supposed to be given out to you for the past 3 to 4 years. Now look at the concession we have given you through the fuel prices. Look at the concession given through the prices of essential goods. Everything which was supposed to be given to the people has been given now. So first let's get the concession sorted, and then let's capture the thieves.
A stock of gunny bags containing suspicious documents have been discovered from a house belonging to a secretary of former Prime Minister D.M. Jayaratne.
The police said that the house was searched upon receiving a tip-off on documents being concealed in an abandoned well at a house in the Watinapaha area in Minuwangoda. Further investigations are underway. Meanwhile, police searched the house of the former chairman of the Development Lotteries Board in Yakaravatta, Kulyapitiya under the directive of the Anti-Corruption Unit.
On to our developing story tonight. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka is to decide how the association would function in the future with the incumbent Chief Justice.
During our executive committee meeting, we discussed as to what legal process should be followed to remove the Chief Justice officially. We arrived at a number of decisions regarding this. An official announcement will be made on Monday after we discuss these decisions further until we arrive at a final decision. Moreover, we got to know that a statement was obtained from the Chief Justice by the Criminal Investigations Department. This is the first time in our 200-year-old law history that a statement has been obtained from a Chief Justice for criminal charges. Nevertheless, what the Chief Justice has done is unethical. So the bar took all these factors into consideration and arrived at several decisions. We hope to make an official statement regarding this on Monday.
In more local news, residents of the Gunasinghapura flats in Colombo 12 have been rendered helpless as a result of the abrupt halt to the renovations that took place in the housing complex. Renovations on the flats commenced over a month ago.
The residents say that the workers who undertook the renovation had attempted to leave with their equipment once the new government was elected. This led to a tense situation today in the area.
This is the water that we have. This is the water pump that supplies water to both towers. This pump has been blocked for over 2 months as a result of the impurities. No one looks into this. Now they are trying to stop the renovation work halfway and leave. We cannot allow this.
What we say to this elected government is that please finish the construction. The previous administration deceived us for the votes. Now they are trying to remove all the material. Because a new government was elected, they have stopped everything and are trying to leave. We kindly request Minister Sajith Premadasa to complete the work.
However, the foreman at the site, speaking to Newsfirst, said that the Ceylon Engineering Corporation is yet to make payments for them to complete their work.
The state has not completed the payments. We have to set up the scaffolding. That costs hundreds of thousands. When we are paid again, we will commence the work.
A ceremony was organized in Tangol today to welcome Minister Sajith Premadasa.
The event was organized by the United National Party activists in the Tangol town. Sajith Premadasa also placed floral tributes to the statue of the late D.S. Senanayaka located at the center of the Tangol town.
Have clear faith on us. We are not going to steal anything. We are not going to deceive you. We are not seeking any commissions and we will not bribe anyone. We will not steal a cent from the taxpayer. Even until 12 last night, I was at my ministry. They have stolen from the Ministry of Housing and the Ministry of Samurdhi as well. I was at my ministry till midnight on both days looking into all of this and getting to know the situation better. The people of Hambantota can expect one thing from Sajith Premadasa. No matter where you are, if you have joined hands with me on my journey, I will definitely pay gratitude to you. That is a definite.
Minister of Media Gayantha Karunatillaka provided assurances and called on all journalists who fled the country in fear of reprisals to return to the country.
The media minister made this statement upon arriving to Kandy to receive the blessings of the Sacred Tooth relic.
Incidents which took place back then will not occur again. This country is transforming to a country with media freedom on a daily basis. There isn't a single country in the world that has 100% media freedom. However, it is with responsibility that I say that we are working to bring the country to that level. Moreover, everyone has focused their attention towards the Right to Information Act, which we said will be implemented within our 100-day program. So a 50-member committee of experts has been appointed for this.
The minister called on the chief incumbent of the Siam sect of the Malwadi chapter, Most Venerable Sri Sumangala Thera, as well as the chief incumbent of the Askari chapter, Most Venerable Udugama Sri Buddharakila Thera, and received their blessings.
Tamil National Alliance parliamentarian S. Sridharan attended an event in Vaunia today and expressed the following views.
China is facing a requirement to connect its 70% oil pipeline system from South Sudan to China through Sri Lanka. That's why China is constructing a port city at Galface Green. This port city poses a great threat to the most powerful nations in the world as well as the regional nations. Why is China coming here and establishing itself to create a port city by investing tens of millions? China needs such a city. America and India will not disregard this as a minor thing. The Europeans did not realize that is good. They had to think about this extensively. These countries had an agenda to defend them democratically rather than spilling any blood. That is why they used us to achieve victory for you. We sent this message to America.
Transport authorities say that the amendment of bus fares in line with the reduction of fuel prices will take place after Tuesday.
Bus fares in the country were last revised on the 1st of November 2013. The price revision on fuel, which came into effect on the 21st of this month, along with the revisions made over the past 4 months, saw the price of diesel drop by 36 rupees. However, this time around, bus owners have already agreed to reduce bus fares by 7 or 8 rupees with the reduction of fuel prices this year. The Ministry of Internal Transport, which makes the final call on the bus fare revision, is yet to make an official announcement.
According to the simulation of the accepted price revision, the officials of the National Transport Commission will formulate a plan on how the price revision needs to take place upon discussions with the minister. One discussion took place yesterday at the ministerial level. On Tuesday, this matter will be discussed with all respective parties involving the bus owners, the NTC and the ministry, and a decision will be reached thereafter.
Newsfirst inquired from the Minister of Internal Transport, Ranjit Madhuma Bandara, as to whether train fares will also be subjected to any amendments.
During the past, although the fuel prices were increased, train fares were not increased. The train fare is 60% of the bus fare. We have not yet reached a decision on whether the prices will be reduced or not.
The locals who face numerous difficulties as a result of the never-ending Umaoya project, which will move water from Badula to Hambantota, are now faced with a life and death situation.
With the commencement of the Umaoya project, around 280 families were compelled to take shelter at temporary houses provided by the state. However, these houses did not have water or electricity supply or even road access. These persons were forced to be termed as the displaced in the name of the development of the country. While one end sees the development, the other suffers even more. This is proven through the cracks that have surfaced on the walls of these houses as a result of the excavations that took place with the project. These houses can collapse at any given moment without notice, and these locals lament that there is no one who has come forward to assist them.
It is difficult for us to go and get medicine, leaving the children at home alone. This place is like a desert. There is no electricity, there is no water supply, and there are no trees here. It is extremely difficult for us.
There is no official to direct this to. In the future, we will have no lands to do labour work. Meanwhile, JVP Uva Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna alleges that as a result of the Umaoya project, a water scarcity has arisen in Badulla and surrounding areas. The officials were shown a fairy tale saying that such and such things will come up with this Umaoya project and that houses too will be built. They said it will also create jobs. 200 questions were raised on the 6th of April 2009. Here is the list. These questions were asked from Chamal Rajapaksa. No answers were provided. If the answers were given, all will be caught. That's why everything was concealed.
On to sports news, manager of the Sri Lankan cricket team Michael de Souza says that the leg injury suffered by Sri Lankan captain Angelo Matthews is not of serious nature. However, a decision as to whether the skipper will play in the 6th ODI tomorrow against the Kiwis has not been reached. New Zealand lead the 7-match ODI series 3-1. On some rugby news now, Kandy Sports Club and the Sri Lanka Army team recorded resounding wins in today's game of the Inter-Club Rugby League. Kandy Sports Club locked horns with Sri Lanka police at the CRNFC grounds in Colombo. At half-time, Kandy led the scores 15-0 and they went on to win the game 37-3.
In a battle of uniforms, the Sri Lanka Army took on the Sri Lankan Navy in Valisara today. At the first half, the sailors were leading the way 31-3 and then went on to crush the Sri Lanka Army 43-8.
Before we wrap up the news, parents are the first teachers of a child starting from home. Young children usually learn by the monkey see, monkey do method. Therefore, parents are expected by society to set an example for their children. Yet, there are those who do not. We leave you tonight a footage of persons who set a bad example to the younger generations. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Ramesh Bandara.